Holy shit. He said what?
Trevor Engelson's, Meghan's first husband, previously had this operation, which would mean, of course, that she was unable to give birth to a child herself.
She will find a way to bounce past him to some other taker who might actually just love the guy. She will take her royal kids, who can still go by prince and princess, and find the billionaire.
The only person who can really clear this up outside of Meghan herself is Trevor Engelson, who until this point has kept a total dignified silence, despite the fact that Meghan treated him so appallingly, even sending back their engagement ring via the post.
Meghan Markle is reportedly under intense pressure behind the scenes, and this time it's not just symbolic. After years of silence, her former husband, Trevor Engelson, has spoken publicly, and the reaction inside Meghan's inner circle has been anything but calm. Sources familiar with the situation claim Meghan was caught completely off guard by the interview and struggled to contain her frustration. For someone known for tightly managing her public image, the sudden resurfacing of her past has reportedly caused major internal stress and emotional fallout. According to people close to the situation, Meghan reacted strongly after seeing the headlines connected to Trevor's comments.
That information came direct from Meghan's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, via an intermediary. And obviously Trevor Engelson is a very successful TV producer. He now has his own family. He's very happy. He hasn't spoken on the record.
He's moved on. He has put Meghan behind him. He probably is not interested in people bringing up his past relationship. He has 3 children now with his new wife.
Insiders allege that an emergency meeting was called. Tensions ran high, and voices were raised as her team tried to figure out how the story gained traction in the first place. Those present described the atmosphere as extremely tense. Meghan was said to be demanding answers, questioning her advisors, and expressing disbelief that the narrative had slipped outside her control. Several staff members reportedly stepped away to avoid being caught in the middle of the heated exchange. By midday, legal advisors were allegedly consulted as a precautionary move. Media outlets were reminded to proceed carefully with formal notices encouraging responsible reporting and restraint when referencing Trevor Engelson's remarks. Behind the scenes, Meghan was also said to be exploring her legal options, despite the fact that no formal confidentiality agreement exists between her and Trevor following their divorce. Legal analysts note that such a response signals concern about long-term reputational impact rather than any single headline.
He must have been so devastated at the time with the way that he was treated, but actually he dodged a bullet. He has his dignity. He's still working in the industry. I mean, we obviously know via Tom Bower that Meghan Markle returned her engagement ring to Trevor Engelson via the post. But the fact that you're actually so blatant in terms of the fact that you want this famous royal, and specifically you want Prince Harry, because you know my reporting on Meghan Markle's early life in London, Angela, made it very clear that she was looking for a celeb.
What's clear is that this moment has reopened a chapter Meghan worked hard to leave behind. Her commitment to shaping her public narrative has always been strong, but this unexpected interview appears to have challenged that control in a very public way. Rather than seeing this as routine media noise, those close to her suggest Meghan views it as a direct challenge to her version of events. And with attention now focused on what could be said next, the pressure surrounding her image management strategy has only intensified. But Meghan reportedly isn't placing all the blame on Trevor alone. Sources close to her claim she believes the pressure is coming from somewhere much closer to home. And in her mind, the timing of Trevor Engelson's interview feels far too convenient to be accidental. According to people familiar with her thinking, Meghan suspects royal insiders may have quietly encouraged the moment to undercut her next major public move. She's allegedly told confidants that the institution she left behind is still influencing narratives and working behind the scenes to damage her credibility.
He studied him. Now, if you do study him carefully, you can see he's very vulnerable, and you can see that he's yearning to get married. He told me that he really wanted children, but, the time hasn't come yet, but he really wants to be a father because he loves being with children.
I mean, she flirts openly with other men. I remember when she was at that tennis match, looked like she was flirting with Serena Williams' husband, like with her skirt, and just how she just looks at men. Harry, it doesn't matter.
One acquaintance even suggested Meghan views Trevor speaking out as part of a larger pattern, not an isolated decision. Still, not everyone around her agrees with that interpretation, and some close observers remain unconvinced. Critics argue this reflects a familiar strategy, reframing controversy as persecution rather than addressing uncomfortable questions about her past. They claim this approach allows Meghan to retreat while maintaining a sense of moral high ground. That retreat has been noticeable. Meghan has reportedly pulled out of several upcoming engagements, including a prominent women's business event in Los Angeles and a planned charity Q&A in New York. PR insiders suggest the cancellations are part of a broader damage control strategy. Behind the scenes, they claim Meghan feels unprepared to face press questions centered on Trevor, and right now, silence feels safer than confrontation. But that silence is cutting both ways. Instead of projecting calm, critics say her absence is fueling speculation and intensifying scrutiny rather than quieting it. Some commentators have gone further, arguing that if there were nothing to explain, she would step forward and address the issue directly. For now, though, Meghan has remained out of sight.
It just seems like Meghan just does not care about her husband. She doesn't care about how he is doing. He seems to not be doing very well. And Meghan is concerned about her career, her as ever, and what is important to her.
Maybe Harry's no use to Meghan anymore. Maybe the divorce rumors are actually true. Maybe there's no money in the settlement for the divorce. Wow, let's make a new Netflix series and story out of Harry's demise. Ooh.
Adding to the chatter, a former staffer has made claims about how Meghan privately handles stress inside her Montecito home. The account describes a secluded space used to release emotions away from public view, though no independent confirmation exists. Whether exaggerated or misunderstood, the story has taken on a life of its own online. What insiders broadly agree on is that the pressure surrounding Meghan's image has escalated quickly and visibly. Meanwhile, Prince Harry's reaction has reportedly been far more restrained. People close to the couple say he's unsettled by the backlash and uncomfortable with how deeply Meghan's past is now dominating headlines.
Royal family, you should be so thankful this woman wanted to leave, because she's not going to bring any good to the branding of royal. She's going to downgrade it to a level of ghetto, and that's what it is. This is just bad.
Sources claim Harry has been spending more time apart, keeping distance as tensions rise inside the household. One insider summed it up bluntly, saying every time the situation seems to calm down, another wave hits. This time, they say, it's different because it's rooted in history he can't redirect or defend against. And perhaps most revealing of all, Harry has allegedly urged Meghan to stop framing every crisis as a palace-driven attack. Those close to the couple suggest that emotional space between them is widening. It's a striking contrast for someone whose public identity has been built around empowerment, transparency, and emotional awareness. Trevor's interview has done more than spark headlines. It's forced people to reassess everything they thought they knew. His account presents a version of Meghan that some viewers say feels sharply different from the public image she's promoted for years.
She wasn't interested in Harry actually meeting her father. They didn't even meet him before they got engaged. I think Meghan definitely did not want her father there to mess up the narrative that she had told Harry about her early life. I think that we could definitely infer her mom was completely willing to go along with the narrative, and that's why she was there.
Online reaction has been intense. Social media platforms are flooded with posts from users saying they're rethinking past narratives and questioning moments they once overlooked. Even longtime supporters are slowing down and reassessing. Many are asking how much of Meghan's image was authentic and how much was carefully constructed for the spotlight. Old interviews, podcast clips, and documentaries are now being replayed with fresh skepticism. Viewers say moments that once felt inspiring now come across as calculated or overly polished. And if Meghan believes the backlash is fading, insiders suggest she may be mistaken. People close to Trevor claim he isn't finished speaking, and that this was only his first step. Sources familiar with his thinking say Trevor intentionally held back certain details out of respect, but he's now weighing a follow-up interview or even a memoir to share his full perspective.
Meghan is living a life that she's winning and she's doing all these great things, but the reality is not that. The reality is she's a joke. It's embarrassing at this point. It's like, oh my gosh, for real, Meghan, you did that? You're gonna keep doing this? I mean, wow.
For years, Trevor remained silent while their shared history was publicly reframed. That silence, according to friends, may finally be coming to an end. One person close to him put it bluntly, saying Trevor feels it's now his turn to speak, and he's prepared to back up his account. That comment alone reportedly sent shockwaves through Meghan's inner circle.
Netflix will, allow their relationship with Prince Harry to expire, but they are holding on tightly to Meghan to work with Meghan in hopes that if there is a divorce, they would get the exclusive and pounce on that access to Meghan because they know that that's the next big thing that would sell.
Behind the scenes, her legal advisors are said to be monitoring the situation closely. However, without any formal confidentiality agreement, experts note there are clear limits to what can be legally challenged. Beyond the legal angle, what stands out most is the shift in public mood. Meghan, once widely framed as a modern disruptor of tradition, is now facing growing skepticism from audiences who once defended her. Online hashtags supporting Trevor have surged, with users praising his restraint and timing rather than the content alone.
You just see Meghan becoming more and more into the social media, more and more about her ass ever and talking about launching new products and, doing all these things. But yet the story around Harry is completely different. That in itself tells you how Harry is doing, okay? And how Meghan just doesn't care.
Many say his decision to speak after years of silence carries unexpected weight. One viral post summed up the sentiment by saying Trevor stayed quiet for years and only spoke when directly asked. That restraint, supporters argue, gives his words credibility. This moment feels bigger than another cycle of celebrity headlines. To many observers, it looks like a broader unraveling of a story that once felt tightly controlled. Meghan's post-royal identity has been built around carefully shaped narratives of resilience, empowerment, and being misunderstood by powerful systems.
Megyn Kelly reveals that Meghan Markle married for money, that she planned it all from the beginning, and the vision board with Prince Harry on it was revealed to her by someone who knew Trevor Engelson.
But this woman is nothing but a publicity whore. It's a term of art. We broke the news that she had Prince Harry on her vision board when she was younger. That was her goal, #goal, to marry Prince Harry. So it was all about getting the title. She's done that now. Now she's just stuck with this depressed ginger who has absolutely no family, no friends, and no money. This was not part of the plan.
Trevor's account challenges that framing from a deeply personal angle. His story doesn't come from anonymous sources or institutional rivals. It comes from someone who knew her before the fame, before the titles, and before the cameras. That's why her continued silence is being interpreted differently now. What once seemed strategic is increasingly being viewed as avoidance. Legal warnings that once projected confidence are now being read as signs of pressure, and the image Meghan spent years perfecting appears to be under heavier scrutiny than ever.
that Meghan Markle really did expect Harry to be a billionaire when she met him. She was incredibly disappointed to find out he's only worth a couple million, and she's gonna have to actually work and hawk these jams and jellies and dog biscuits to have the lifestyle that she wants.
She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled. She became a, quote, princess.
Well, you can...
It was planned from the beginning. She denied being interested in the royal family, which she totally was. I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry on it.
Before they met?
Yes, and she wants to
That's
pretend.
impressive. You got to admit that is impressive.
She nailed it.
There's no denying Meghan's rise to global fame came from a mix of opportunity, ambition, and timing. But if Trevor's account reflects his genuine experience, then the story behind that rise may be far more complicated than the version audiences were shown. What some viewers believe they're seeing now is a pattern, one centered on reinvention, emotional distance, and strategic image control. And with more voices rumored to be considering speaking out,
She's already gotten the benefit of her bargain with Harry because she got the title. That's what she wanted. She wanted to be world famous. She wanted the title. You remember when Harry was single, he was the elephant. He was the one, the most eligible bachelor on earth. You could be a royal, you could become world famous overnight. You could live in a castle, you could have access to the crown jewels, you would be a princess. My God, yes, he could have had his pick.
public patience appears to be wearing thin. For years, Meghan's narrative has been carefully shaped and protected. But critics argue that when too many questions go unanswered for too long, even the strongest image can begin to crack. If you followed this story over time and felt like certain pieces never fully added up, you're not alone. Online discussion shows many people are now revisiting moments they once brushed aside. Trevor's perspective isn't just another headline. To many, it feels like a fracture in a long-standing narrative.
In this case, about whether you think the birth was real, whether you think there was a surrogate, whether you think Meghan was wearing a moon bump, the fact is, Harry and Meghan lied. Buckingham Palace lied on their behalf. There was a complete cover-up over the birth of Prince Archie.
For years, audiences were presented with a single lens: empowerment, misunderstanding, and resilience. Now, that story is being viewed alongside the voice of someone who knew Meghan before the spotlight, before the titles, and before the global attention. That contrast is what's forcing fresh conversations. The question has shifted. It's no longer whether Meghan's image was polished. It's how much of the full story has yet to be explored. How many perspectives were never heard? How many moments were quietly left out? And who else might decide to speak next? Trevor chose to break his silence. The real question now is whether he'll be the last, or just the first. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. Here on Star Spotlight, we break down the narratives behind the headlines and spotlight the stories others avoid. Stay tuned. The conversation is evolving fast, and this story is far from over.